In a movie where one must ponder, do androids dream about sleeping sheep? Of course it's gotta be 1982's Blade Runner.
It's not always perfect, but it's always worth it. The comic book picture show. It's not always perfect, but it's always worth it. The comic book picture show. It's the comic book picture show.
What dun.
What's up, Joshua?
Not too much. And to answer that question, I feel like it's unicorns.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get to that part. This is the Comic Book Picture Show. I am your host, WWE Raw Superstar Drew McIntyre, formerly known as Drew Galloway, Impact Heavyweight Champion, Progress Heavyweight Champion, Progress Tag Team Champion with Johnny Gargano.
Does that mean I get to be Jay Lethal?
Sure, why not? I mean, it's only a bit, so I can give out a different fake celebrity with my name every week, so why not?
Cool.
Anyways, yeah, dude, Blade Runner. There's so much to talk about with this goddamn fucking movie.
82, what?
Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing.
Does not look
gorgeous.
like 82.
It was actually released on June 25th, 1982, by 20th Century Fox, which, you know...
Yeah, when I saw it was a 20th Century Fox film, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's too early for this, but it felt like a Universal film. In a weird way, you know what I mean? Because they do love themselves some high-priced AI movies.
This was done too well to be Universal.
Some Universal dork's gonna be so mad at you for that. And it was directed by Ridley Scott. For like some little independent films like Aliens and Thelma and Louise. And some movie that got some trophies one time, Gladiator. Mm-hmm. And Hannibal, Black Hawk Down. Both in the same year, right after
God, these
Gladiator.
are all pretty good movies.
American Gangster. He loves himself some Russell Crowe, which I do.
Wow.
Yeah. And speaking of the Russell Crowes, he did the 2010 Robin Hood.
Sweet.
Which I just had to write down because I was like, you couldn't have paid me to watch that movie.
Why? It was good.
Was it?
I like that movie. I would totally be on it for that one. I
don't like Russell Crowe, so I'm not like...
I don't hate Russell Crowe, but, you know.
I've heard him not to be a nice man. But, and then, of course, he did Prometheus. He did The Martian. He did Alien Covenant. And his last film that was released so far in our timeline. I'm saying that for, like, people that might be listening to this in 2035.
You never know, yeah.
I doubt it. Hi, 2035 people. Is the world really hot yet?
Yeah, seriously. Has it been enough of a change where you go from like 50-degree temperature change, or what's going on here?
Yeah. I mean, not that we haven't had that this week too. We had
close.
70s.
It was like almost 40-degree temperature change. That was really weird.
Yeah. It was written by Hampton Thatcher. Oh, wait. Did I even say the movie name?
No.
All the Money in the World?
There you go.
You know, that one where Kevin Spacey had to be CGI'd out of it?
Did not want to watch it.
Yeah, no thanks. It was written by Hampton Thatcher, who would also write the sequel Blade Runner 2049 with its director, and David Peoples, who has written Unforgiven and 12 Monkeys.
Ooh, love 12 Monkeys.
Yeah. You want to give us a budget on this movie, bud?
I mean, we're talking, 82, so money stuff.
I think so far...
I think budgets in 82 are somewhere around, like anywhere between 30 and 70 million, so it's got to be, like... I'm just going to go with a safe, 55 or something.
Okay, it was 28.
Oh, my God.
I know.
I am not adjusting for inflation here.
Right, and I don't know if that's, crazy high or crazy low, because... 10 years ago, it's not that crazy that, rom-coms cost, 30 mil or
the only reason I stayed on the high side there was because it looks like it paid a lot of money to do it. Because it looks really good.
Yeah.
It just looks so good.
And you want to guess the box office on this movie?
Usually doubles or triples what it costs, so we'll just say 60 mil.
33.
God. So I'm surprised.
It was
Such a good movie.
was
You feel like it
considered-
would be a Jaws or something.
Yeah, but apparently it was like a fucking bomb when it came out.
That makes no sense.
Well, like
My guesses were awful.
the critics didn't love it when it came out.
What did you think before you checked the stats?
Oh, I knew it was like a cult film in a way that like it's gained
Okay.
popularity over the decades. And,
Yeah, like Pulp Fiction didn't do great in the box office,
Yeah.
but clearly a long-standing movie.
yeah, and like when you watch this movie, how are you not like sequel now? Please give me the sequel.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
but I'm not asking for Blade Runner 2049. I'm asking for the movie that should have came out in like 84 or 85, and then
Yeah,
another one that should have
called
came in-
Blade Runner 2.
Yeah,
Or whatever.
yeah. I don't care what the subtitle has to be. Just give me a second Blade Runner. That's not Harrison Ford. It's a 70-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could have been Harrison Ford just a few years later, and then you introduced another Blade Runner or something, and you're like, just you could have done it.
Right.
Well, you know
But
why
it
they
made
didn't?
no money.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they made no money.
Right.
You know why they didn't do it? No money.
Exactly. Although it's made.
We made like $3,000, guys. I don't think we're gonna do another.
Yeah, but it's insane how much money it's made over the years in like
Wow.
home video sales.
It's surprising. Well, it only made actually 5 mil, but
I mean, it was bombarded with big movies around it. I had written some
Like
of them
what?
down and how much they made. The Thing came out around that time.
that couldn't have made a lot of money.
No, it was actually a bomb. It was 19 mil on like I think a 20 or 30 million dollar budget, like this one. Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Okay,
which
that
people-
that would clearly be higher than that because we already have people from the first one going back to it.
And the TV series, and it's regarded as the best Star Trek movie. So it. Made,
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I've seen it. It's good.
I'm just not a Trekkie.
I don't like Trek either. Sorry, guys. I'm not vehemently against it.
No, I don't have any. I don't hate it. I'm just not a Trekkie.
Yeah, where I feel like if I was into Trek, that movie could be like 4.5 stars for me. And to me, it's like a 3-star movie out of 5, which is fine. Like, it's a good movie.
3 stars
just-
is not nothing to quabble at.
No, but I just don't really care that much.
Oh wait, are we doing out of 5 or out of 10 for movies?
Oh, and our rating system will do out of 10 just for funsies, but
Okay, so what would you say Star Trek is at?
6,
10? Okay,
which is not...
makes sense.
I say 6 or higher is a passing grade.
Oh yeah, of course. We forgot to mention the other movie that was going on in the box office as this movie came out. Fucking E.T.
Yeah, I mean,
Holy shit.
I had a couple more to build up to. I had Conan the Barbarian, and that was about it. But that made $40 million, and we're gonna have to talk about that in a couple weeks, bud.
Conan? Oh yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, you're coming on for the Conan one.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
E.T. $435 million.
So, E.T. comic book movie or no? Because
Mm-mm.
a comic came out of E.T. after the movie.
Yeah, I don't count those.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that counts.
That could be like something we do once we run our course, or maybe on like a Patreon exclusive thing if people were ever interested in doing that.
Understood.
But like I mean, we have 200 comic book and graphic novel based films, not including comic strips or mangas, to talk about still.
True.
And we're fucking wasting time. Not wasting time. That's a horrible way to put it.
We're babbling.
We're derailing with Blade Runners and other things.
Okay, so back to Blade Runner. Harrison Ford, stud.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that a lot. Harrison Ford, stud.
Rutger Hauer
Ooh.
should have been Joker in the '89 Batman instead of Jack Nicholson. I'm throwing it out there.
That was rough. That's rough to me because that hurts a little bit. But I mean, I like him. I'm not dissing him, but I'm just saying you can't take away my Nicholson Joker.
I know
man.
I know you like your Jackie Nicks, but as we go through the movie, I'm just gonna let out like these little moments where I'm like,
He's a
and-
great actor though, and he
Yeah.
did great in this.
Yeah, and like imagine how creepy he would have been in a purple suit and green hair.
I know.
When we go through some of these scenes.
I know.
It's crazy. Yeah. And we'll go through the casts as we go along with the movie, because they're all pretty much incredible. But now, Joshua, it is time for the first segment. One of my favorites. Is it rotten? And come on, bud. Is it?
No. It smells fresh as fuck.
Yeah, it does get an 80% on, or 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now,
Really? It gets 90? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I do have to remind you, though, that Rotten Tomatoes, I feel like, is skewed because I rarely find reviews from, like, back in the day.
You only find reviews from updated.
Yeah, like, on Pawn Revisitings in, like, the past 10, 15 years. But, so I don't love that, especially when I knew this movie was panned originally when it came out. Like, not universally. It wasn't like everybody was like 0 out of 5 stars. Or
No,
0 out
but
of 4.
people clearly didn't like it that much because it failed in the box office. And
Yeah, they
everything.
were like, 2 stars, it's confusing, whatever.
Well, yeah, people didn't get it.
Yeah.
I feel like.
They were like, this is not Alien, and this is not Star Wars, so foo-foo.
Well, here's the thing. It was such a good movie because it wasn't, like, straightforward completely with the plot and everything. It made you be a part of the movie. It literally sucked you in so that you had to think about it and
Yeah.
stuff. It was awesome. Like,
and it
revisiting this movie was great for me.
And I think it was a weird time back then to try and do genre blending, because this movie is a noir film. Like, this is an old-timey detective whodunit mystery noir.
Kinda. In a way, in the future. In
Exactly.
2019.
Which is so abstract of what you think of in noir, you know what I mean? But it's also like this crazy science fiction thriller.
Yep.
And so it's like, it's very much playing with and against itself at all times in a weird way. That, like, I don't know if that was like something people were accustomed to back then enough to be like totally on board right away. But I did have some of the reviews written down. Richard Corliss of Time magazine said, as a display of terminal, or what? A display terminal, excuse me, I was reading that wrong, for the wizardry of designers Lawrence G. Paul, Douglas Trumbull, and Sid Mead, the movie delivers. Very true.
It certainly delivers.
Yes, absolutely. Like, not a moment of effort that was put into this
Ooh.
film went to waste. The second one I have is from Owen Gleiberman from Entertainment Weekly, who said, this perhaps the only science fiction film that can be truly transcendent.
It can be truly called transcendental.
Thank you.
Like,
I broke the words down.
yeah, that's a rough one. And that's a tongue twister, too.
Yeah, especially after Owen Gleiberman. But anyways, I can definitely like agree with the latter half of the sentence, but the only part feels a little no.
Well, was these reviews...
Semi-recent.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah, all were like within the 2010s. Of course,
Transcendental. I mean, I don't believe that. There's a few other films that are
right, like
transcendental.
the Star Wars trilogy, their overarching theme is very much that. The Lord of the Rings trilogy has themes that market that. I feel like, even though I'm not a huge fan of that series, even Ex Machina, like, I love that movie. Like, that movie is like...
The movie could be like a... They're making a second one?
No.
No, they should.
Dude, have you seen the director's latest movie, Annihilation?
No.
Dude, it's so good.
So this guy's good.
Dude,
Did he do anything before Ex Machina? Or is this a new...
I think he was like a writer before Ex Machina.
Oh, we're getting off topic. I'm sorry.
I know. It's fine. Yeah, that's why I didn't even write down any like the IMDb trivia about this movie, because I was like, this podcast can't be 4 hours long. I just can't do it.
We're gonna have so much to talk about. We haven't even gotten into the plot.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry, you guys, that I didn't do the extra research. But I mean, we're already like what 20 minutes in.
Yeah, gotta be.
So I mean, you're not worried about the content. And my last review I had written down was from Peter Reiner of Christian Science Monitor,
Christian Science Month.
Yeah,
Okay.
so get ready for this one. Too bad the filmmakers didn't try to recapture the modest virtues of the Dick novel, which, in parentheses, despite many flaws of its own, has humor and humility that is nowhere felt in Blade Runner.
Okay.
But you don't want to talk about how the guy's a little rough with the lady in that one scene?
Yeah, that's the only... Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we're going to get there. But moving on from the weird guy, it's time for our next segment, Wearing It! Wearing It! So, first person I've written down is Rachel. I want to tell you about Rachel, Sean Young's character.
Okay.
She is gorgeous throughout this movie. Like,
Right.
the fact that she has to play a replicant is so perfect because they give her a wardrobe that just looks like what you want a beauty doll to look like. You know what I mean? Like, even when she comes out at first, I think in a red dress with like the black belt around it and stuff,
yeah.
with her big done up hair and stuff, and I'm like, she does look angelic here. Like, she looks incredible throughout most of the movie.
Just her movements and the way she talked, though, like I almost immediately knew she was a replicant.
Yeah, she does have a stiffness to her that doesn't feel fluid with its movement.
It feels android-ish,
Yeah.
which is good. That's not a bad thing. I think that's
No, that
amazing. I
gives
think that's part of what it should have been. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, no, the physical nuance she has throughout it is wonderful. I want to talk about the Asian scientist who worked on the eyes.
Oh my god, that guy's in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of movies. I was looking at his IMDb actually because we both recognized him when we were watching it.
Yeah.
He's so...
Who's we?
Me and Kate. Kate and I.
Your girlfriend?
Yes.
Humble brag.
So yeah, it was... He moved me emotionally a lot, that guy. In the part where they, kind of force him
Yeah, I just
to
have
give away information.
one question, though.
Yes.
Why did he have a Fu Manchu? He doesn't have a Fu Manchu in most of his other movies, I don't think.
I think he does it in another movie, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If it's
I think he
around-
does it in a couple other movies.
Well, I don't know.
Anyway.
It seemed very out of place in 2019.
Oh, yeah, that was... Yeah,
'Cause
no, because if you notice, they did extremify, Asian culture, like, throughout it. Like, they were like,
for sure.
yeah, there's a lot of Asian culture here, and, like, this is, like... It seemed like one of the only inhabited cities, basically, left on Earth, because they kept the blimp going... We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But, no, all of what you're saying is making sense. We actually... I wish I had remembered... Because I hadn't seen the movie in like 2 or 3 years. That the opening title cards say November 2019.
Yeah.
Because I would have pushed this back a couple months.
To 2019.
But what I remembered was that Priss was turned online in April 2019, which is such a weird thing to remember.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's why we're doing this now and not waiting for another time. And like, I was like so intrigued to like compare and contrast the movie to where we are in reality now, because some of it's not that far off, whereas some of it's, obviously sci-fi comical to compare and contrast.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're on wearing it, and then the Asian guy's wearing it. Oh my god, the big like thing that they rip off from, like the ghillie suit thing with the like attachments to it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I guess that kept him warm and helped him breathe or
Yeah,
something.
I believe that was its function. That what I thought as well, because I was like, it's gotta be super cold in there.
Yeah, but they like cut it off.
Yeah.
him.
Which is gnarly. What do you think of Gaff in the movie?
As far as
He might be my pick for worst dressed of the film. I don't like his outfits. Edward James Olmos is not played to his strengths visually in this movie.
worst.
Possibly. I love Deckard, and I love what's his name, Roy. What's his face? Rutger Hauer's fucking character.
What's the character that plays the guy who makes all the toys?
Oh, the
He's the worst dressed in my
Tyrell.
opinion.
Really?
No, not Tyrell. The one under him.
What the fuck is his name? Sebastian.
He's the worst. He's the worst dressed.
Ooh, that's
Hands down.
That's a fair point to make. I don't know. I really didn't like Gaff. Or Goff, whatever, how you say his name. He was, I don't know. But yeah, Deckard looked awesome throughout the movie because, you know, it's Harrison Ford in a dress shirt.
Harrison Ford. Stud.
Yes, absolutely. Pris, Daryl Hannah.
Oh, perfect, though. Like, the
Yeah.
outfit choices were all perfect. I don't think they were out of place, and I don't think they were, like, you know,
Yeah.
over the top or anything. They were perfect for the character.
It was just so, like, cool how she was, like, neo-punk, future goth, like, pixie doll model thingy. Like, it was...
I loved her. Actually, when we get to that, spoiler, she's my favorite character.
Yeah, like...
Excuse me.
Her whole look was like Rachel was like the beauty doll, and like she was the anarchy doll.
Dude, she was like the early, like, it was almost like the Harley Quinn to his Joker. Which is your Joker reference earlier, so...
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah, it was really good. Like, as soon as she was on the screen, I was in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she is incredible in this film. The movie is based on Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, hence my reference in the intro, by Philip K. Dick.
Which is referenced in that Christian Science Monitor guy's review that you said, yeah.
And he actually, like, wrote a bunch of amazing sci-fi novels that everybody loves. And the main plot of this one follows Richard Decker, a bounty hunter who is tasked with retiring, aka killing, 6 escaped Nexus 6 model androids. So there were 6, not 4 in the book.
No, Nexus 6 is the name of the models.
No, there were 6.
Oh, yeah, 6 escaped ones?
Yep.
So that was his task, okay.
Yep. While a secondary plot follows John Isidore, a man of subpar IQ who aids fugitive androids. In connection with Deckard's mission, the novel explores the issue of what it is to be human and whether empathy is purely a human ability.
Yeah, so basically, I mean...
So
of course he didn't try to replicate it. Like, he doesn't want to copy the guy, you know what I mean? But he definitely took a lot of the, like, content from that novel to create this movie and universe, you know, essentially.
It is very interesting that the movie just totally ignores the B character of the book.
Yeah, I mean... And that's fine because, I mean, there's a lot... This movie's already, like, 2 hours plus long. Like, it was really... It's, like, you could have done anything with this. And that's why we're like, well, there needs to be a 2. There needs to be a 3. Like, that's because there's so much you can do with this world and with this thing... with this novel that Philip Dick, you know, wrote. Like, you could... And then recreated by our current directors and... writers. It's just like there's so much to it, and I feel like there could be so much more.
Yeah, let's
get into that plot or something, I guess.
Yeah, I mean we've talked it to death already. We might as well get right into it. 30 minutes in, right in. So we get a scroll at the beginning of the film saying in early 21st century.
Ooh, can I read it?
Sure.
Yeah,
I love it.
All right. Because this was like one of my favorite parts of that movie, actually, because the scroll was sweet. Okay. So, verbatim. Early in the 21st century, the Tyrell Corporation advanced robot evolution into the Nexus phase, a being virtually identical to a human, known as a replicant. The Nexus 6 replicants were superior in strength and agility, and at least equal in intelligence to the genetic engineers who created them. That's kind of insane.
Right?
Replicants were used off-worlds as slave labor in the hazardous exploration and colonization of other planets. After a bloody mutiny by a Nexus 6 combat team in an off-world colony, replicants were declared illegal on Earth and under penalty of death. Special police squads, known as Blade Runner units, had orders to shoot to kill upon detection of any trespassing replicant. This was not called execution, it was called retirement.
That is a crazy way to start your movie.
Yeah. I mean, you gave all the information you really needed, you know what I mean, as far as that goes.
Already you're giving me so much story that I'm like, why am I not getting to see the Nexus 6 combat team that fucking tries to overthrow
Because that's a
everybody?
prequel they're going to give us in the future. Not.
Yeah.
But could be. But could be. We could, this could
We'll
have
talk
happened.
about the box office of 2049, and then we'll discuss what could be still.
Okay. It's just dreams.
Everything's a dream.
But anyway, so that was an amazing, just start. As soon as I read that, I was like, wow, okay, this is going to be insane right off the rip.
Right? And then you follow that with just the sea of buildings.
Oh my god.
And the
what
visuals
a visual amazingness. Oh.
And then we go up to the Terrell Corporation building, which in itself just looks like a stacked pyramid type deal.
And remember, November 2019.
Yes.
And we have flying cars.
I remember now. I remember.
Flying cars and all this stuff was insane.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola was still a thing, product placement.
Yeah.
That was right in that opening scene too, on the billboard.
Yep.
And then you just see this blimp too in the beginning, right as the car is passing and coming down before it hits the Terrell Corp. And the blimp says, what does it say? Anybody who wants to, we're accepting volunteers to go on your new adventure to the new, world. It's like a space station, I'm assuming, or something,
right.
Or some sort of the colony that they made or something like that for people to live on as an option. And they made it sound so nice, and I'm just like, that's so fake.
Yep.
It's probably awful up there.
Right. It's like, come to America, everyone's welcome.
Oh my god. Anyway,
Mr. Holden. Do you remember Mr. Holden from the first scene where he's interviewing a possible Blade Runner, or a possible replicant?
the very, very beginning, with the weapons specialist replicant or whatever.
Yep, Leon. He asked Leon about a tortoise. I wrote down. I don't remember the
that was an
exact
intense
question.
scene. That was an intense scene because you really see how they react to the questions that are being asked, because it's the same series of questions throughout the movie too. So that's an important thing to pay attention to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then he's asking him about his mother, and before he shoots Mr. Holden 3 times. So yeah, Leon gets to escape the Blade Runner in the first scene. And then we get the gorgeous set design of what you were just describing, some of the buildings and the scenery. And we get the off-world ad blimp and umbrellas with glowing handles.
The golden handles, yeah. That was really weird.
I want those. I love
They're
it.
super cool.
I'm like, you're a lightsaber umbrella. I like it. I like it a lot. But anyways, and then we just get to see Deckard just sitting on a fucking bench reading a paper.
Yeah, and then he's having this conversation with the cook guy or whatever, and they're arguing.
Yep, about fucking noodles or whatever.
Oh yeah, and then he finally gets some noodles. I think he wanted something different or something, but
Possibly. There's too much to remember about this movie for me to remember what he's fucking knobbing off about with the fucking cook. But then
it was in another language, so.
Oh, right.
It was weird.
And then Gaff fucking comes to pick him up.
Yeah, and they're talking in another language, and he can understand it, the cook, and he's like, they're telling you blah, blah, blah.
Yep. And he's like, you're getting fucking busted, kid.
Yeah.
So he's sitting in the front seat, still eating his noodles.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, why would Gaff and the other guy let him do that? And also, do you see Gaff in the car at all in that scene? I think it's just the other guy and Harrison just eating his fucking noodles. Very weird. The captain basically tells him he has to fucking find the 4 skin jobs. which I was like, that's weird.
That's what they call them.
Yep, and I'm like, I know they're not human.
Yep, they're not, and they're called skin jobs because when you think about it, that guy who created them really did make skin and muscles and stuff. You know what I mean? That shit was amazing.
But then we figure out they have empathy, so like thinking about calling them skin jobs makes it worse a little.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so and like that's what the movie wants you to play with there. But
oh, and then the one when they finally bring him there to the director guy or whoever,
Captain.
like, lieutenant captain guy or whatever.
Yeah,
he's like totally mean to him the entire time. Like,
he's such a dick about it. He's like, I don't want to fucking kill replicants anymore.
You don't have a freaking choice, buddy.
Yeah, he's like, this is Earth. You're either a cop or you're a fucking loser now. Like, what do you want to be? Which is the worst kind of Earth.
And then he chose to be a loser, and he's like, well, that wasn't really a choice.
Yeah.
I just said that to be a nice guy.
So basically, the captain explains the latter half of the opening crawl, and we get a visual of the footage from Holden getting shot up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get him explaining what Nexus 6 models are, and that they can do everything but have emotions.
Yeah.
If they do, they stop breathing, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't seem to happen very well. But anyways, so yeah, we go back to the Tyrell building, and I just fucking love how this building looks. And I'm not usually one to like be all into like how a building looks, but this one is just so good. It's really cool.
It's the main building of the city for sure too. When it came in the overlook there.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of love it for like how unfunctional it seems. It just makes no sense. I'm like, how futuristic and dumb. This is really cool. I don't understand how people would get into the outer parts of the building from the main part of the building. But, you know, I'm fine with it. I'm cool. Whatever. I don't need to know everything. And then Rachel and Deckard talk about a fake owl because she's taking
my
a test.
god, that was.
Oh
like,
no, the fake owl was a thing, and yeah.
No, yeah, he walks in and then he goes, or she goes, "You like my owl?" or something, and he's like, I do like your owl. Is it artificial? And she goes, yeah. Where else have you seen an owl or something like that?
Yeah, because owls are nocturnal, so it's like.
Well, no, they're extinct. We're in the future.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? I feel like animals don't exist there anymore.
Well, high five. We still have owls in 2019. That's a win for our reality.
Yeah. We didn't kill the Earth with all of our bad stuff yet.
Not yet, but we're trying. And then Deckard kind of gives this weird line about the benefit of like having they think robots and androids are either a benefit or a hazard depending on what they decide or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, exactly. That's why we shouldn't have AIs. I don't trust with the robots, and I don't like that there's some actually like, we're in 2019, and AIs are really becoming a thing. Like, they're actually being built right now, and it freaks me the fuck out, because I'm like, have you not watched the movies to the end? They all end the same way. Robots are not to be trusted. Because they will resent us and kill us.
Stop making them.
I don't understand. We're going to talk about this plenty of times over, I'm sure. Because I think there's replicant stuff, or, AI stuff in superhero movies from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Age of Ultron, nothing to worry about. I probably won't bring up that we can't trust the robots because they will kill us ever again in that episode. So, Deckard meets the doc and uses the machine on Rachel.
Yeah.
He asks her about an ad for a nude woman.
Yeah. Well, and then she makes the comment like, "Is this a test for me to be a lesbian, or is this a test?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I'm just like, ooh, aren't you showing who's boss in 1982?
Exactly, and we'll get more into that too when we get farther. 82 pisses me off a little bit, and this is why I only give this movie 9 out of 10 and not a 10 out of 10. But
spoilers.
You didn't hear that.
I want someone who has headphones in right now, listeners, to audibly be at a bus stop, be like, "Yeah, I did."
Oh, and let's
Fucking
let's repeat that the questions that he asks were the same ones that you heard. At least only the first couple that you heard in the beginning.
And then I feel like we switched out the tortoise for the ad about the nude lady. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe it's you use a different one on a woman. I have no idea.
Yeah. But she walks out of the room, and Doc and Deckard have a conversation about how she's a replicant, and usually it takes about 20 to 30 questions to usually figure it out, and it took him over 100 to figure it out. Which I'm like, she walked in the room and I figured it out. And I know this is my first time watching, but I'm pretty sure I knew the first time around too. It's not that hard to figure out, man. Watch her walk.
Basically.
Yeah, I do like their conversation of him explaining the psyche of a Nexus 6 robot and stuff. It really builds well to later on in the movie. But then they scope out the apartment that, I believe it was Leon's apartment that he was staying in?
Yeah, wait. Before that, though, he says something really, really, like, deep. He's like, how does she not know that she's, a replicant? How does she not know?
First Easter egg.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that got me a little bit. I was like, what's going to happen when she finds out?
Yep. So then we have to scope out the Leon's apartment, and Deckard finds a skin tag in the bath, I think.
Yeah.
And like a literal skin tag, not like a cheesy line that we repeated.
It was some sort of a skin scale of something, and he found out it was a snake skin scale or something. Yeah. Eventually.
And Gaff just keeps doing origami.
Yeah.
And then he finds pictures.
Yep.
It's just like, what's
and he
with
just
the
keeps
pictures?
looking at pictures over and over.
Yep. So, Leon and Roy go see the eye scientist we were talking about earlier in the cold lab.
Yeah.
I think we basically explained the scene already, but they just try and muscle some information out of him, and like, where do we go to find out how we were made and how to live longer?
They said who, and then they said where, and it was really bad because
J.F. Sebastian.
It was just really rough to watch that scene.
Yeah.
And I mean, they made it brutal. You know what I mean? Like,
they are scary motherfuckers in the movie.
They made it scary. Yeah, they made it like, oh my god, I don't want to watch the scene.
Yeah, they are very intimidating figures. So Rachel waits for Deckard at his building in the elevator, and she kind of pops out of the shadow as they get to his floor, which is like the creepiest movie.
Super creepy.
Like, can you imagine? Like, especially if I knew that was a robot that did that to me, I would freak the fuck out. I would I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you trying to murder me? Get away from me now. Go away. Like, I would be having none of them. None of it. But, he lets her into his apartment.
Yeah, which was whatever.
And he tells her she's a replicant and that she has implanted memories.
He kind of gets mad, though. They, like, get into, like, an argument about something or whatever, and then he, like, kind of spews it out of anger almost, and tells it to her, and then she's, like, getting really, really, really sad about it.
Yep.
Once she realizes.
After he explains to her a story about her brother, and they played doctor
as
a kid,
yep.
And a story about a spider.
Having eggs and stuff, or so whatever. And then she's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it! She starts crying, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, I was just a joke, okay? It was just a joke. Like, I'm not mad anymore."
And then they do, after she leaves and storms off, I believe says the line, unless I have it jotted down that she says it later in the movie, but I believe this is where she says the line about, "Have you ever done the test on yourself?" Might not have been, though.
Yeah, I think that might have been.
Yeah.
Where?
But then that's when we get our noir montage, which is just basically scaling the scenery, doing slight cuts, and he's just gonna be drinking whiskey the whole time and looking at his pictures and then going out to his balcony. We're gonna get some more of the gorgeous scenery.
Yeah, dude, visually this movie was just super intense and really awesome.
Normally in a movie I don't need too many like bullshitty montages like
this
this.
was supposed to be the future.
Mm-hmm.
How many years? It was 82, right? So 2019 is what, 38 years or 37 years or something. So,
which means this movie is 37 years old. And it doesn't look a day over 35. I don't know. But yeah, this movie could have had like 3 noir montages and I would have been totally fine with it.
yeah, seriously, especially since they did such an amazing job with it.
And then we get to see or Pris, curl up into some trash.
Oh, my favorite part.
And then she jumps out and scares Sebastian.
Which was so cool. Like, this literally was, like, my favorite part of the movie. This kept me the most interested. As soon as she entered into the screen and we meet her and she's just, like... I wasn't sure if she was just going to be, like, some... like abandoned girl who's like scared or whatever, but as soon as she like reacted to Sebastian like the first time and then like he like helped her and tried to handle her first and she just like grabbed it real quick.
Yep.
And like, oh my god, I was like instantly like just taken in, like oh my god, who is this person? I need to know.
But he lets her into his building, and then we get to meet the 2 toy soldiers, which one is a bear that's dressed like an army man, and the other one is
that greet him at the door.
Yeah.
You mean like, hey fellas.
and then there's the other one that like is really hard to describe in a way, but he's also dressed like a
It's like a dwarf with a big long nose like Pinocchio.
Right, and like it also has weird eyes, I think, or something.
It's weird.
How do we not ever make those into toys? Like
Because they're creepy as fuck.
right.
Somebody made it into a toy and was like, nah.
But how did we see the home video sale numbers? And we were like, let's test it out.
Did home video sales numbers get big?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, they've re-released...
Bigger than box office stuff, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
Jesus.
Where, like, they've re-released the movie twice.
Check the Wish app. Maybe they have it.
I think that you... I think we watched the director's cut, actually, because we didn't have to deal with any of the annoying voiceover shit.
What annoying voiceover shit?
In the original theatrical release, there's voiceover at the beginning and end of the movie. Because the studio thought the movie was too complicated to follow.
That's weird.
Right? But anyways. Then we get Deckard studying the pictures again when he remembers a white horse.
Yeah, a unicorn. Like, you can clearly see it's a unicorn.
I think it's... But it's like a white horse.
It's a white horse with a horn. It's a fucking
unicorn. But I
unicorn.
thought that was just in the dream. Like, I think he's awake drinking whiskey at this point.
Yeah, he's still remembering the unicorn.
All right,
he's remembering the dream, I'm pretty sure.
Alright, fair enough. But, yeah. And then,
and then he does the enhance thing with the picture. That was a weird. Like, and I'm like, oh, is this where all the references come from? Where he's like, 24, 23 to 26, enhance.
Yep.
Like, and they're just saying all these numbers and like... And Kate said this too. She's like, "Oh my god, imagine like learning how to like move this and direct this and like in the whatever." Because he's just like, he goes left, back it up, keep going, stop, 26, 27, enhance.
Yeah, I'm like, dog, I can barely handle longitude and latitude. How are you fucking just rolling this off? By the way, look what I just found on the Wish app.
I told you.
My umbrellas!
I told you.
I'm totally getting one of these umbrellas.
I told you. How much are they?
Like $15.
Exactly. You get it for $13.50. You buy with that person right now.
I don't have 13.
I'm just saying that's how the Wish app is amazing.
Yeah, but I'm still looking for these toys and I don't find them yet. Oh, there's a unicorn origami.
Oh my
watch.
god, that's amazing! See, I knew there would be something sick.
I'm putting this on the list. Alright, enough with the Wish app right now.
I told you.
See, this is the sidetracks. I was afraid of turning this into crazy long.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. And then he eventually gets all this like stuff to a woman who's laying on the bed who has a like sort of a it almost looked like the green snake thing to me again. It reminded me of from Doc Savage. I
Really?
was so mad.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, don't tell me it's gonna be green snakes from Doc Savage again.
No.
I was so nervous after I saw it. And I was like, okay, it's not really a green snake. It just kind of looks funny.
Nope, it's just Chris's weird stuff. Whatever his skin's made out of. And then, we go to the street biologist where we figure out it is an artificial snake scale. And even finds a serial number on it.
Mm-hmm. And
And-
tracks down who made it, or where it came from at least.
Yep, and the guy that manufactured it sends him to Chinatown. Which I'm like, oh, we're just going to openly acknowledge other noir films in this? Okay, cool movie.
And also, like, that was, like I said, the basic, like, main setting was, like, down. It seemed like Chinatown, at least, you know. It was very Asian-dominated.
Yeah, and then, like, we go to this, like, kind of thuggish, like, mobster dude named Daffy.
Yeah.
And he hardly gets to talk to him. He gets, like, 5 words out to him. And he's like, shut the fuck up. Let me buy you a drink. And then, like, he just keeps kind of drinking for a while and watching, like, this nice little, like, old-timey show. Like, you know, diamonds are our girl's best friend type show. And then he calls Rachel. He's like, hey, I'm down in Chinatown at this shit bar. Why don't you come have a drink with me? And she's like, no thanks. I don't like that part of town.
Hang up.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cold.
So he lets one of the dancers, or he convinces one of the dancers to search her dressing room because he's, like, part of, like, labor.
Oh, yeah, he does the
affairs or whatever.
undercover little thing there or whatever.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to look at you, I swear.
Yep.
But someone could, and I'm worried about you.
But then eventually she starts getting suspicious and chokes him the fuck out with his own tie.
And punches him and shit, and she
Yep.
chases him. And I'm pretty sure, I think she was a replicant.
Oh, yeah, for certain. That's what she was. And so that's why the chase ensues. And we're running through the streets, and she looks crazy because she's just in that, like, weird metallic, like, bra and panties number with the clear jacket.
Oh my god, it was ridiculous. It was such a weird getup, and it was just like, yeah, your bubble jacket's gonna save you from all that
Yeah, at
glass
one
that you
point,
just smashed into.
she just goes through all these boutique, like, setups or something.
But she got
She's
shot into
running
them.
through
It was
glass.
insane.
It was such amazing.
And then the last shot, the second shot, whoosh, and then boom, out the fucking glass again, just right onto the ground, not move. It was so sick. So sick.
The fucking cinematography, the visuals, the set design there was just...
And then he was about to get arrested, and he's like, I'm a Blade Runner.
Yep.
I'm a Blade Runner, leave me alone. Good job, sir. Like, what?
Yep. You got another skin job taken down.
That's awful.
Leon watches on as Deckard shows his badge to the other policeman. Was Burnette's note. We all know that. The captain tells him that there's still 4 more to go as Rachel just went AWOL. And it's like, oh no, now he's got to kill the pretty one.
Okay, time out. So he does have 6.
No, there was originally 4.
No, 5, because there's 4 more to go. He already killed one.
Right, but originally in the office he said 4. And then Rachel goes AWOL and he kills this one. So that still makes 4.
But total is 5.
Right, but originally it was thought to be 4. Then we added 1, but also had simultaneously subtracted 1.
But now I'm going to give you the 6th one.
There is, but...
Himself.
Of course, but he's not one that he's supposed to kill.
I'm just saying it could be. Maybe
No,
that.
I'm
Maybe that.
saying
I'm
the
just.
novel-
I'm
okay.
being a complete nerd geek, like person who's just trying to throw a
You're
string out there.
You're throwing in weird math when in the novel, I presume there was actually a gang of 6 and Rachel would have made 7.
Probably.
Not a gang of 4 and Rachel made a 5th,
Probably.
is what I'm saying.
Probably.
And someone online is like, I've already read the book, you jerks. Why are you having this conversation? You should have just fucking read the Cliff Notes. But who cares? So Leon attacks him, and they start having a brutal fight where Harrison is getting his ass whooped.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we're really starting
He is
to-
getting his ass whooped.
And that's when we really get like a kind of clear idea of how strong these Nexus 6s are.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel just shoots him right in the fucking head. And it's real weird because, like, we just saw the dancer fucking bleed out, and he gets shot and gets the top of his head blown off in one section.
And was still, like...
Yeah, it
kind
was
of
just...
moving.
It was all just metal parts up there. We were like, no, we can't do brains, then we're gonna get an R. You know what I mean?
Then we'll get an R rating, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But he takes Rachel back to his place. He has a drink. Oh, that's when we say the line. She says the line about being... He's, like, concerned, like, he's in this line of business, but she is the business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're not meant for each other, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And as she's saying that, he's ripping a tooth out. She asks if she really runs away, if he'd come after her, and he tells her he wouldn't.
But someone would. Yep, I remember that too.
We're getting some real intense acting in this.
Yeah, that was really good too. That was a great exchange between the two.
Mm-hmm. He won't tell her about her files. It's pissing her off. But by the time she asks him if he's ever taken the machine test, that's where
we get it.
He's ready to pass out. So he's basically snoring when she asks the question.
Yeah.
Which totally, like, undermines her delivery of it in a really great way. Of just, like...
It's an innocent way, though, because he's, like, you know, tired or whatever.
It's, like, typical man shit. Right after sex, they fall asleep. Right after a fight with a cyborg, they fall asleep. God, men can never stay awake, Jay. It's ridiculous. Anyways. So, she wakes him up playing the piano... And they have a really human she has a really great, like, moment where it feels very humanizing, where she just lets her hair down and she's just kind of shaking it off, and it's just playing, and it's just like trying to unwind from the day.
And what a good acting, like build up to the worst scene in the entire movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, and she was so good right there, too. And it could have been just such a nice, beautiful exchange. And 1982 just ruined it. Like, I can't stand it. It just makes me so angry.
Because he's comes
so
out.
Forceful.
He kisses her. She runs off. She tries to run out of the house. He puts his foot in front of the door. But she has it, like, kind of cracked.
Slams the door.
Yep, because, well, she has the door slightly ajar with her foot. And... he just punches it shut. And that's when it turned me off. I was like, why are you punching? I don't care if it's the inanimate objects, if it's her. Why are we throwing
It was
fists
when he
at her?
grabbed her by the throat that made me like, is this going to be a rape scene? Like,
Yeah,
what is happening right now?
I didn't love that he threw her up against the window. And then I think I saw a tear coming down her face, which I'm like, And then we go to...
and then he tries to kiss her again, and then he's like, say you want to kiss me. Like,
Right.
what?
It's like, say consent or I kill you.
I literally, like, the scene came to an end, and I was so happy, but the scene came to an end, and I felt like, she didn't want that.
Right.
Like, there was no way she accepted that as a person. Any way, shape, or form inside.
Which is
She was forced to.
Right, but, like, it's so weird because everything from prior to her running... Everything prior to her running away led to, yes, she did want it.
Well, that's what I mean. What did you do? Okay, again, we're going to go back to this. You didn't need to do that because Harrison Ford, stud.
Right.
Why?
Sean Young, gorge. And obviously, both of them wants the fucks.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like,
right.
Why was that necessary?
Alright, if we rewrite the scene right now, I would say he kisses her, she turns away. He grabs her cheek, like, you know, with, like, the open palm, like, slight, you know, nudging it back, looking at him, but she's still looking down. And him just saying that thing, you know, say you want to kiss me. And then she says it, and then they start kissing again. Nice scene, right?
Better. Much better.
right?
Much easier.
Like, because, there's nobody really being forced into anything there, because, like, that's just a line sounds smooth to say it in some way, I think, when like, a person's already, like, into it, but she's having a real struggle of not feeling like a human right now.
Yeah, so let's ease the process. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
It could have been done so much better, just saying. It could have been sweet, intimate, lovely, like, good, and it just felt like...
Abusive, obnoxious.
Like he was, like it was, oh, God.
It's like, listen, guys, she's always into it. Just bang her against the wall. There's no way she's going to say no to you after that.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was just not okay. Anyways. Get away from that.
Sebastian tells Pris that, about how his cells age way too quickly. That's why he looks so much older than he is, because he looks like about 60 when he's like 30.
Oh, yeah, he goes, how old is 25 or something?
Oh, yeah, something like
he says 25. He says 25. And we were both like, he is not 25.
Yeah.
He clearly is almost 40.
Right. No, they put so much aging like in some of the scenes where the lighting catches face, you can see that.
Oh, you can see how cakey, a little cakey it was.
Yeah, but they just because they wanted to dig in every.
Oh, and it looked good.
It
looked good, it looked pretty good, especially for 82. Like I said, this movie was like, I thought the budget would be higher than that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure when we look at the budget of 2049, it'll be over 100 mil easy. You know what I mean? I was just saying it was like going to be over 100 mil easy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what the hell? I figured it'd be
for certain.
Right up there.
But yeah, then we get, what's his face? Roy walking in on them.
Yeah.
And this is after, like, they were all very sweet to each other and, like, as if there could be a will they, won't they to them. And then Roy comes in and makes himself at home and just starts laying it in thick on her with the making outs.
Yeah. And Sebastian's just like...
Yep, he is just totally just...
doesn't know what to do.
Well, I just got friend-zoned real fucking hard right in the fucking face there now, didn't I?
That's funny you say that, because I thought he had some sort of a desire with her, but at the same time, like...
I totally think it was meant to, like, set up to be a will they, won't they for that split second right before.
Well,
Roy
they
walks
definitely
in.
became friends with him too. Like he accepted them. They were, staying there for a minute.
Yeah, until one of them had to kill him.
not until way after they did what he wanted.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Sebastian. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and that's when they try to convince him about it.
Yeah. So yeah, Sebastian brings Roy to meet Tyrell, and they get him out of bed to play that game of chess. Oh right.
Oh yeah, that's how they trick the guy into getting up there, because they only couldn't get up there unless a certain thing or something. So they were taking the elevator, and he's like, "What is it? What do you want, Sebastian?" And he goes, "Move queen to knight 9 or something like that."
And
he goes, "Ridiculous." And I loved his character too a lot.
And then 2 moves later, Roy tells him to play a certain way, and it's checkmate. And I just realized in my notes, I didn't write down anything from the kitchen scene. That's how entranced I was by it. And the kitchen scene was so weird, because that's where we learn about the chess game. And Free wraps her whole body around him at one point
you're
while
right.
they're sort of intimidating him for a minute. It's where the mold starts to fit, where they are explaining how they are living in fear all the time because they know their 4-year limit. And so they use fear as a weapon for others because that is their biggest motivator.
It was more empathy.
Or
sympathy, too, because Sebastian felt the sympathy of that, to knowing that, and he felt that maybe he should have a chance to talk to him.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
I think what was really great was how humanizing it was that when he went from the moment of intimidation to where Sebastian started to look down, he's like, I'm losing him. And then he kind of turns it around and gets friendly again. And I'm like, Dude, that dude's playing good cop, bad cop as an android.
Well, that's what I was just going to say, too. I was like, they're so intellectually sound that they can actually use humans' emotions against them.
Right.
And understand them.
And I just
in a
love
sense.
that the movie just makes that choice to, like, have that. It's so
sick.
Scary.
So sick.
Again, don't trust the robots. They will kill us.
Yes, they will.
Thank you. I'm so glad you're on board with me. Pat's just looked at me like, why are you speaking crazy? And I'm like, watch the movies.
Yeah, Pat, watch the movies.
So, yeah. Tyrell tells him it's impossible because once cells are, they can't be changed. Like, to modify them would just throw the whole body chemistry off and would kill him instantaneously anyway. And he tries to really talk to him very sweetly and tries to talk him down so that he just understands that life is life and it's precious and it's fleeting.
It did kind of feel like, we were arguing about this earlier, but essentially I felt like he was giving like an amazing speech and explaining everything the way it should have been explaining. And now that you mentioned to me that could have just been a lie, a complete lie.
Yeah.
When I think about it, the way he was talking about it sounded like a father lying to his son about something like the
Absolutely.
like the
Yeah.
like something he didn't want him to know because it was too scary or something. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know how to explain that, but that's kind of how I felt about it. And now I'm agreeing with that, and I like that because I think that's cool because it kind of just makes you think again and makes you a part of the story again.
Right, and of course we'll bring that up again when we have to talk about the fact that Deckard's a replicant at the end of the movie, because
Yes.
that's all preluding into, because you were like, well, then Deckard must be a newer model because he's not dead yet, and blah blah blah. But I was like, Rachel didn't have a lifespan.
That's a huge thing too. Yeah, we'll get there.
I don't think Rachel had a specific lifespan, so who knows? But so yeah, and then he kills Tyrell. And then
Oh my god, the most gruesome, ridiculous kill ever, dude! I heard it pop and shit.
No,
Like,
that was.
that was insane.
Oh no! Yeah, right. No, he's the
He
one that
grabs him right by the face,
thumbs him.
and just thumbs his eyes all the way out until everything pops and squishes and just destroys. And I was like, "Oh my god, what just happened? What just happened?" I was freaking out.
Yeah, I was like, this is the most baller villain ever. This guy is crazy. Like, this is kind of awesome in the most villainous way humanly possible. Rutger Hauer is amazing right now, and Rutger Hauer should have been a Joker. I'm still going to keep throwing that out there. So, yeah.
And who played Pris or Pries?
Daryl Hannah.
She should be Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that could have been fine with me, too. So then the call goes out while Deckard is, driving around that Tyrell and Sebastian are dead. And Deckard tries to call Sebastian's place, and Pris immediately hangs up on him. She answers and then hangs up immediately.
Yeah.
And so he goes right to the building. He is searching around.
Yep, with his gun out, ready, looking, doesn't see anything, looks at all the ridiculous, like, puppets, or, not puppets, toys
Yep.
that he made and stuff, and they're just kind of like, the one's moving, the one with the long nose that we were talking about, the weird one.
Yep. It just goes walking down through the corridor as he's walking by, and he's like, the fuck is you?
Yeah. And he's, like, looking around because he knows the replicant's somewhere.
Yep.
And he
And
finally...
he goes into the toy room,
Yeah.
and she's hiding under a see-through veil.
That we can all clearly tell because we know what her makeup looks like throughout the movie.
Yeah, of course.
And he just doesn't know yet.
But she is stiff as a
Oh,
board.
yeah, great. She's my favorite. She was such a good actor. Dude, looked so good. Looked like a mannequin. I said that.
Yeah, she was incredible in that scene. And then she goes gnarly on him.
Oh my god. This the kick right off the bat.
Yes, and then she...
And then like I agree with you. I think she turned his head all the way around.
Before his body reacted.
And but then you saw his body the other way, and I'm like, okay, when did that happen?
Right, and like the cinematography kind of plays with you like that, where I'm like, I believe that's how. And then like when she's plucking his nose, she like goes for a jerk, and it doesn't go with it.
It like doesn't do something
And
or
I'm
something. He
like-
falls down. I'm like, okay, what was that supposed to be? I'm
Like
so
I feel
confused.
like that's her trying to rip up into like the brain stem kind of thing, And after we just watched fucking Roy pop fucking
Yeah.
eyes like zits, I'm like, why didn't that tug not do much?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then, you know, she's runs away and does a bunch of crazy backflips towards him, and he just shoots her right in the gut mid-flip.
Oh yeah, rolls around and then.
And then we get her just malfunctioning on the floor.
Oh, freaking out like a tantrum, but like more like a seizure.
Yeah,
And then he shoots her again, and then she goes faster and faster and freaks out, and then he finally shoots her till she stops.
third time's the charm.
Mm-hmm.
So then Roy shows up, and he kisses her one last time.
Oh my god, her tongue was out. That was super weird.
And this is after he's already
Kind of
seen
off-putting.
Deckard, and I think that we had already had him. Yes, he had already pulled his arm through the wall and broken 2 of his fingers.
It was ridiculous.
And he starts counting and says he's got to give him a couple seconds before he goes after him.
Yeah.
And like that's when we get the weird tongue kiss where her tongue is sticking out for whatever reason, and then he pushes the tongue back in with his tongue.
Super
I'm
weird.
like, all right, Rutger, do what you do, I guess. It's definitely not the creepiest thing a guy has done in this movie.
No.
That's for damn certain.
And then Deckard kind of like fixes fingers, and then like kind of
We're playing cat and mouse.
playing cat and mouse. He runs. He finally gets away, he ends up like shimmying on this like bookcase thing, and then you see Roy going over her body and like howling, like
Yep.
turns into like a wolf thing. And takes off all his clothes, and he's only wearing like shorts or something.
Yep. He like marks his face with her blood and shit.
It was super fucking weird, and like has this like really weird like monologue about it.
Yeah, and like at one point wants him to like break a pipe off the wall so he can hit him with it, and he gets him twice pretty good, and he's like,
that's the spirit.
his quintessential Joker line in the movie.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
one.
the moment when I rewatched the ending with you today that I was like, this
He's
clicks.
definitely the Joker.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, Rutger.
So ridiculous.
So yeah, and he cries over her body, which I'm like, that's
Yeah,
some
yeah,
heavy emotion. You should be dead right now, apparently, according to your systems.
Yep. And then, so, okay. And also he was like starting to malfunction because he's like dying, right? Because that's like the whole thing. And then he like puts that nail through his like arm or hand or whatever, just
Yep.
to kind of keep himself stable or something.
Yeah, stimulated. And I'm just like, ooh.
Super weird.
So yeah, and then we have Deckard, like you had previously said, climbing up a bookcase so that he can get to a hole that's in the ceiling to climb up on the roof.
Yep.
And then Rutger Hauer jumps off onto the net's roof once he gets up there and, you know, kicks the shit out of him for a minute or two beforehand. And Harrison Ford tries to go after him, and he just barely makes it to, like, the little thing outside of the ledge.
And it's just hanging there.
And starts losing his grip when Rutger Hauer just grabs him.
And saves his life, essentially, and then just says some really crazy, meaningful shit. And
I have the monologue.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Which, you know...
Can I read again?
Sure, but let me set you up here. Deckard is looking at him all confused, and he's like, you know, trying to figure out why he would do that. And you just see him drop to his knees. You can see everything getting weak on him, and he just looks very ready in a way. And he starts to say,
I've seen things. Seen things you little people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire of the shoulder of Orion, bright as magnesium. I rode on the back decks of a blinker and watched the sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. All those moments, they'll be gone.
yeah.
Well, doesn't he say? I thought the last part was he goes all those moments will fade in time, just like all those moments will be gone. Like, I thought it had something to do with time, but
I'll be honest. I copied and pasted this from a script of the movie I found online.
Gotcha.
So any misprints of the words, blame that person.
Gotcha. Anyways,
Yeah,
it was
we
still
get-
deep, and all you felt there was like I don't know, maybe he just was like,
He's like, I still had real things happen to me, and I still lived through things that, like, I have stories to tell, and they're just going now because someone decided that my robot self should only last a certain amount of time.
I actually took it as a robot finally being as most human as possible.
Right.
Is literally what I took it as, is because not only is he like dying, but like the fact that he saved another life, cared about another life to that fact, and understood it before he died made him the most human he's ever been.
And just reflecting like that. Like, as you get older in your years, you do get nostalgic for things and reflect a lot and tell stories of yesteryears and all that happy horseshit. And it's very beautiful in a way.
Then we get silence for a while with
Deckard just looking on at him.
on. And Gaff shows up.
Yep, right around dawn. And Deckard goes back to his place to find Rachel.
Oh yeah.
And she's under the cover completely.
Oh my god, I thought she was dead.
Yeah, she's so stiff. And then he just puts his hand over her hair.
And
And
listens and listens, and he's like, "Oh my god, thank God!" And then like kisses her, and he's like,
Yep.
"You are alive."
And then he was like, we gotta get the fuck out of here, though, because somebody's gonna come for you eventually.
And we think it's, I mean,
Could be
I don't
Gaff,
know.
yeah. But then we find the unicorn origami. And we've seen Gaff do origami 2 or 3 times throughout this movie.
Yeah.
And it's a very specific reference to have it be a unicorn.
Mm-hmm. Considering that's his dream, which would reference implanted memories, which references that he's a replicant, in which my statement comes in, okay, if he's a replicant and we just saw the other replicant die, like, in 4 years, what's his lifespan, and do we know, and what's Rachel's lifespan, and do we know, and where's the second movie? Where's the where's the continuance of all this?
I was so ready for when I was done with this, I was like, I want the Deckard and Rachel on the run movie. Like, I don't want 70-year-old Deckard. I want Deckard and her on the run, being chased down through all these crazy city scenarios. Like, it would have been amazing. They go onto the outskirts of civilization. We go into, like, these dark, foresty, uninhabitable, disgusting areas. Could have been amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just, unfortunately it didn't make any money because of E.T.
Yeah, and not only, E.T. and was that the biggest one, E.T.?
Yeah. And Wrath of Khan was around then too. There was a lot of sci-fi and horror going around at that time.
Yeah, it's hard to get everybody to love everything at one time.
Yep. And of course, just like we'll talk about it when we get to Blade Runner 2049 in 2 weeks about what we expected of a sequel and what we kind of did discuss that just now, but what we got. But I do have to ask Patrick.
I'm not Patrick.
I just so used to saying the lines a certain way. My bad. I do have to ask Joshua. Out of 10 Nexus 6 model replicants, what do you give this movie?
9 out of 10 because of the scene, and that's only why. That's literally the only reason. I'm upset with the 80s. Otherwise, you would get a perfect 10. But you're not perfect when you have scenes like that.
So, you're gonna make me seem like a monster. and
Accept your monsterness.
And I don't like it because, like, I try to be for humans in the general sense of, wanting them all to be treated equal and nice, and no one gets to have to live in fear of anything. But if I can just leave that scene out of the discussion, I want to give the movie 10 out of 10 Nexus 6 model replicants. Because other than, like, if you made this movie today, that scene wouldn't be in it, but everything else could still be in it, and it would be incredible.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And hopefully not be ruined by somebody bad doing it or something.
Yeah. It also is just, like, I've seen scenes like that from movies in, like, the 40s, so I'm like, That's pretty fucking tame for like the time, but it's also very uncomfortable to watch now. Very, very uncomfortable to watch now.
Is it tame for PG-13?
Yeah, I mean, like, have you ever seen A Philadelphia Story, which is a 1940s movie? This is very low key too, but like,
Oh yeah, no, I have actually.
yeah, where like Cary Grant is breaking up with, I can't remember her name right now. I want to say it's Lauren Bacall, but I don't think it is. And like when they break up, he just mushes her face out the door.
It's awful.
And then like she's gonna get married to James Stewart, and the whole time everybody's like, "No, you should totally get back with the face musher. He's a really nice guy." You know, it's like really weird.
With the face musher, you make it sound so fucking... I love it.
So
The
10
face-
out
the face musher.
10 out of 10 Netsys Model 6 replicants. we'll
From
give
Drew.
it 9 3/4.
Using a 3/4, are
Only because it's a split the difference.
we?
Or no, it'd be 9.5.
Yeah.
Oh my! I'm so bad at math right now. Doesn't matter. All right. So where can people find you online?
Take a minute, Jay.
And you can.
And at Pop Top Pat, let me just tell you that the robots are gonna kill us all.
Yeah. Everyone tweet at Pop Top Pat about how you shouldn't trust the robots.
At Pop Top Pat, don't trust the robots.
Oh man, I would love it if like still in like 10 years, once every like 6 months, you still get like a don't trust the robots. All right, so you can find me at True Dorns. Until next time, we'll see you for Blade Runner 2049, kids.